Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Planning Advisory and Adjustment Committee meeting for Monday, November 14th, 2022. I'd like to call this meeting to order. And we've had an agenda before us. Any additions or deletions from the agenda? Seeing none, I would accept a motion to accept the agenda as was presented by Vice Chair Baum. Seconded by Tanya St. Amour. Further questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, next item is the approval of the minutes of the meeting that was held on October 17th. You had a copy of those minutes sent to you or via email. Once again, you've had an opportunity to look at these. Any questions, deletions, corrections? Seeing none, looking for a motion. Marie-Josée, seconded by Vice Chair Bob Hughes. All in favor? Carried. Okay, the minutes have been carried. At this particular time, is there any disclosure on the part of board members of pecuniary interests or general nature thereof? Seeing none, then we'll carry on to new business. Our item today for the new business is an application from Chris Malone, and I haven't got the lady's name, but okay. For the minutes, we have to have your name as well, okay? In the case that both of you were here. Okay, this is an application for 560 Center Street, and the application is a consent to sever and minor variance application. And at this particular time, I'm going to ask, is it the planner or the planning technician? Planning technician who is going to introduce the application.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The applicant, Chris Malone, wishes to sever the existing lot at 560 Center Street so that a new additional lot is created for future residential development. The existing property is zoned residential type 2 R2 by zoning bylaw 2020-05. Currently, a single detached dwelling and a detached garage exist at 560 Center Street. Mr. Malone proposes to maintain the existing single detached dwelling on the retained lot while demolishing the existing detached garage on the severed lot in order to make room for a future residential development. Minor variances would be required for both the retained and severed lots. The retained lot, to remain 560 Center Street, would have a frontage of approximately 20.12 meters, a depth of approximately 18.33 meters, which is 12.15 meters short of the required 30.48 meters, and an approximate area of 368 square meters, which is short approximately 95 square meters of the required 464 square meters. The retained parcel would maintain the R2 zoning, but a minor variance is required to address front yard setback and interior side yard setback deficiencies for the existing single detached dwelling, which was constructed in 1919, as well as the aforementioned lot area, lot depth, and rear yard setback deficiencies that would result from the severance. Any remaining R2 zone provisions can be met. The severed parcel, to be known as 187 Hunter Street, would have a frontage of approximately 19.87 meters, a depth of approximately 20.15 meters, which is short 10.33 meters of the required 30.48 meters, and an approximate lot area of 400 square meters, which is 64 square meters short of the required 464 square meters. A minor variance would be required to address said lot deficiencies resulting from the severance, as well as any deficiencies to be determined upon review of a submitted site plan for the future development of the lot, subject to it meeting good planning principles. With the aim of providing Mr. Malone with flexibility in planning said future development, the minor variance for the severed lot would be dealt with on a future date up to a maximum of 2 years from the date of approval of a provisional severance. However, the severance cannot be finalized until all of its conditions, including the future minor variance for the severed lot, are met. The zoning bylaw requires 2 parking spaces per dwelling unit for single detached dwellings. Ample parking space exists on the retained lot to accommodate parking. However, to ensure these parking requirements are met, a condition for such has been added to the severance. Parking requirements for the severed lot will be dealt with again upon receiving a site plan for the future development. The official plan designates the property as residential. The residential designation of land permits a full range of housing types and densities. It also encourages use of land where existing municipal services are in place and available. The policies for infill development support development proposals that fit with the character of the existing neighborhood. The proposed severance is classified as low density. It would be on municipal services and it would be compatible with the existing neighborhood. The official plan also states all residential development shall be adequately serviced with municipal water and sewer services, waste disposal, and utilities subject to prior verification that there is adequate capacity. The operations department has confirmed that the existing single detached dwelling on the retained lot is currently on water and sanitary sewer services, and these same services would be available for the severed lot. Any future development would be subject to a building permit, the application process for which would require municipal servicing to be completed. 560 Centre Street is located approximately 0.22 kilometers from River Road, approximately 0.3 kilometers from Bell Street, both of which are designated by the official plan as collector roads. This provides for strong vehicular transportation links. Regarding the Provincial Policy Statement 2020, the existing single detached dwelling and the future residential development would contribute to a healthy, livable, and safe community by promoting efficient land use patterns which will sustain the financial well-being of the City of Pembroke over the long term. The proposed severance will accommodate an appropriate range and mix of residential properties and promote residential intensification. The proposed severance is also in keeping with land use patterns that include an efficient use of land and infrastructure. Therefore, these applications meet the intent of the current provincial policy statement. And therefore, the planning department is recommending that the committee approve, subject to the conditions, that a minor variance be approved for the retained lot to remain known as 560 Centre Street, that a minor variance be approved for the severed lot to be known as 187 Hunter Street, for granting relief for any future proposed development, that the required parking spaces, 2, for a single detached dwelling be created on the retained lot, that a registered plan of survey depicting the severed lands be supplied to the Secretary Treasurer of the Planning Advisory and Adjustment Committee, and that the severed lot be subject to a 5% parkland dedication fee. And subject to these conditions, the Planning Department is recommending that the committee approve the concurrent applications for consent to sever and a minor variance tonight for 560 Centre Street.
Thank you very much. Is there anything that you would like to add to this particular submission?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. You understand, of course, that if this goes through, that there are certain conditions that are being attached to it. Matter of fact, I think the parking is one, and so on. And then when you come for a site plan at City Hall for the other lot, there might be some conditions there which are expected. Nothing any different than what you've got in your home right now.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, good. Did we receive anything concerning this particular application, one way or the other?
Prior to the meeting, no, but we do have a member of the public, Nancy Siegel, present tonight. I believe she may wish to address the committee.
Okay. Would you like to come forward and make a presentation, or?
My mistake, she's here for informational
It's
purposes.
for information. Well, you could ask questions for information.
I'm interested on the Hunter Street part,
Yeah,
the parking and snow removal, these
Yeah,
kinds of
yeah.
types there.
yeah. According to the planning department, there'll be ample opportunity for parking there, and they'll deal with that whenever there is a site plan agreement that's being presented. Okay. So is there anything else, or?
No, that's,
Okay. Could we have your name and address for the minutes to show that you were here? Okay.
Yes. Nancy Sigel. The address is 183 Hunter Street in Pembroke. The house is owned by my son Jonathan Goots and his wife, but they weren't able to attend tonight.
Well, that's fine. Okay, thank you very much. I guess it's up to the committee now. Any questions, Tanya? No? Marie-Josée? Bob?
No, I don't have any questions. I'm glad to see this property being cleaned up after so many years.
So-
And I'm sure the issues will be addressed at the site plan stage for the new lot.
Do you want to repeat that, Bob, for the record?
Yeah, I said I don't have it. No, I don't have any opposition to it. I said I'm glad to see that cleaned up after a number of years that we've been dealing with that property. And I'm sure the issues will be issued for the new lot before the site plan is submitted, so.
Thank you.
I'm-
All right, looking for a motion to approve the application as presented by the Planning Department. Moved by Marie-Josée, seconded by Tanya. Further comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. This is, it's almost a slam dunk situation with the way the province is going right now with infilling. And I say that because we expect in the future, whether it's these individuals or whoever's on the planning consulting committee, advisory committee, will see a lot more of these applications because this is what the province is pushing for. It's all part of increasing the housing opportunities in the province, and we're subject to it just like anybody else. Maybe a few years ago, you might have had a little bit of problem with this severance, but it's certainly not now. The atmosphere is ripe for this kind of infilling and so on. So we thank you for your application. It doesn't go, this is an application that doesn't go to council. It's finished, it's determined. The advisory committee has a final say on this. There is an appeal period, however, and I'm going to ask the planner or Owen to explain the appeal period.
So from tomorrow, there is a mandated 20-day appeal period under the Planning Act. Should we receive no appeals within that time, after 20 days, the minor variance is considered final. The severance is granted provisionally. So again, with those conditions attached, that means you guys have 2 years from the date of today to meet those conditions, including having a finalized minor variance for the severed lot. And I'll be in touch with you as the process carries on.
Okay, good enough. Thank you very much. This application, business is concluded. Okay, we'll go on to past business updates. At our last meeting, we had several applications regarding the properties on Steele Street. Maybe, Owen, you could bring us up to date on those?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So at our last meeting, we heard 3 concurrent applications for 0 Steele Street, a zoning bylaw amendment, and 2 severances. Both severances have successfully passed their 20-day appeal period and are provisionally granted. The zoning bylaw amendment was heard at a public meeting of council on November 1st, 2022. It was passed as bylaw and is within its 20-day appeal period, which is set to close on the 24th of November.
Okay, any questions? No? Okay, well, thank you very much. The next meeting, I guess, will be the new planning committee, and it'll be determined, I guess, in the near future. And as Colleen indicated, the applications will be wide open once again. I want to thank you for your service over the past 4 years. We've had some interesting topics, some interesting decisions. So thank you very much, and looking for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Bob, seconded by Maddie José. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much.